Hello, this is Congressman Phil Gingrey coming to you from Washington, D.C. This week in Washington from the 11th Congressional District. I hope each and every one of you had a wonderful Thanksgiving and are looking forward, as I am, to a blessed and happy Christmas and New Year. A lot going on up here in this so-called lame duck session. I think the most important thing that you need to know is what's happening on this ongoing debate about taxes and the possibility of the Democrat majority, still the majority, and President Obama raising taxes on the so-called rich. The Republican Party, my party, soon to be the majority in the House, have insisted that we lower taxes for everybody and not raise them during a time of deep recession, high unemployment, high joblessness, especially for those people who create the jobs, the businessmen and women. So essentially here is the deal, if you will, that was cut between President Obama and the leadership of the Republican Party. And that is to say that every tax level that was enacted in 2001 and 2003 by President Bush, all those rates will remain in place for the next 2 years. Taxes will not be raised on anybody. In regard to the estate tax, of course, that's very important to our small businessmen and women and our farming community. It's, I think, not exactly what I would like to see, a total elimination of the death tax, but this lowers the rate to 35% and gives an exclusion of $5 million for an individual or $10 million for a couple. That comes pretty darn close to what I would like to have seen. The payroll tax on Social Security, which for every wage earner today is 6.2%, will be lowered to 4.2% over the next year. Each small business would be able to write off in the first year any kind of expansion, capital improvement, new product line, even bricks and mortars, up to 100% of that cost in 1 year. And I think that will be a tremendous boost to our small business to begin hiring again, because we absolutely need to get people back to work. Now, part of the deal that the President and the Democratic leadership wanted, of course, was to extend the unemployment insurance benefits, the extra federal benefits, if you will, when the 26 weeks have run out in the individual states, to extend that coverage, at least for the next 13 months, to 99 weeks. This is something that bothers me a little bit because it's not paid for, but it's an act of compassion. And again, in trying to reach a deal and a compromise, sometimes you have to give a little to get what we think is a lot on our side of the aisle. The other thing that I wanted to mention to you real briefly, as a physician member, of course, I've been very concerned about the fact that our physicians were facing a 23% cut in their Medicare reimbursement on December the 31st. You know, I've said all along that having a health insurance card certainly doesn't get you health care if we have no providers, our doctors who provide primary care and family practice especially, if they're not going to accept Medicare patients. So what we have been able to do, and this is paid for, it is costing $19 billion, but to extend the mitigation of those cuts for another year, for a full year. So this is something that is not a permanent fix. We'll continue to work on that, but I think all in all, that this compromise that was struck between the President and the Republican leadership is something that we can all live with. We don't like adding to the debt and the deficit, but we certainly didn't want to raise taxes on anybody, especially at a time like this. So we will continue to work on cutting the deficit, cutting the debt. I think you'll see a budget presented by the new Republican majority in the House next year that will move in that direction. Again, it's great to be with you. I look forward to seeing you back home real soon and hope you have a blessed and happy Christmas.